So let me know if you can hear me fine in the chat box. Just let me know that yes, I can hear you. Let's see. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jan. Thank you. Thank you, Temilola. Thank you, Nyadi. So who can guess why we're here today? Let's see. Why are we here today? And why is everyone joining the call? Did I give a hint? Or are you guys not just not sure? Yes, you're graduating. Absolutely. Thank you, Gaziechi. We are graduating today. So welcome everyone. Today is officially the graduation event of our 1000 Women in Design class of 2022. Round of applause for yourself. It's been one hell of a ride, starting with thousands of applications, and then having to shortlist, and then having to, go through your training, the Telegram groups, the study groups, the Geneza team. It's been, it's been a roller coaster, and I'm really glad you all made it here today. So basically what we're going to be doing is, yes, it's a graduation event, but we also brought in, experts from the field to discuss, what the next steps would be after graduation. What are the next steps after learning? What are the next steps after taking your course? And we're really excited to have that as well. Also, we'll be having a couple of, icebreakers, games. We're talking about how to join the alumni. And I really hope you filled your survey. If you filled your survey, let me know. Just send a quick comment in the chat box that you filled your survey. Let's see. So the survey is really, really important to us because we want to, know how to be better, know what your experience is. We also want to understand what you went through, how the training was for you. Yeah. Also, we also want to definitely know what your story is. So thank you guys so much again. If you filled your survey, round of applause to you. Whoosh, I can see a lot of people have filled your survey. Thank you guys so much. And if you have your friends or your teammates or your accountability partner or any one of your fellow women that are in any of your study groups that are not here, go and drag them down here right now. Go and bring them here. We're here to graduate. We're here to, this is like an official graduation, so you can't miss your graduation day. Like, I don't know, but anyways, so yeah, let's have fun. We can see a lot of our speakers are already here. We're excited. Thank you guys so much for joining us. So before we move on, let's quickly have a little bit of icebreaker. And what the icebreaker is, I need about 3 volunteers or 4 volunteers. Who is going to volunteer?
Volunteer for what?
For the icebreaker. It can be our first volunteer. All right, Elizabeth and Oyiza. Okay, I need about 2 more people. All right, so very short game, very quick game. Basically it's going to be 2 truths and a lie. Are you aware? Are you familiar with that game? Awesome. So basically, you're all going to share, turn on your mic and share 2 truths and a lie, and everybody has to guess what the lie is. So I'll start. Number 1 is I learned design from Geneza. Number 2 is I know how to use Canva. And number 3 is I think I want to start a career in product design. So which of them is the lie and which of them is the lie? So there are 2 truths and 1 lie. Please guess in number 1, number 2, or number 3. Number 1. All right, so it looks like number 1, it is. Yes, it is number 1. That's the correct answer. Oh my God, how do you guys know me? Do you guys know me like that? Anyways, all right. So Elizabeth, do you want to go ahead? Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Oyiza, how about Oyiza? Do you want to go ahead?
Okay, let me go ahead. I graduated or I learned design from Geneza School.
Okay.
I started getting little freelance design gig, and I'm also a design intern at Google.
Ooh, okay. Number 3, but I'm rooting for you. We're rooting for you that you're going to get a design gig at Google.
Yes, you guys are correct.
All right, thank you so much, Oyiza. So one last person. Let's have one last person, right? I think it was Elizabeth, or can somebody else go in? Anyone that's interested? Rukoya. Okay, all right, Rukoya, go ahead.
Please, someone else should go in. Where I am, I'm on the sea.
All right, so Rukoya raised her hand. She wants to go in. I know, right? Oyiza, our Google intern. Yes. All right. Tajudin, you have your Rukoya, you have your hands raised, but I don't know what's going on. All right. So Oyiza is, our next Google intern. We're speaking it into existence. I love it. All right, everyone. So we're going to be moving on to the next thing on the agenda, which is the panel session. And like I mentioned, we have our amazing speakers who have joined us. So I'm going to be making them co-hosts now. Hi, Itunu. Hi, Bola. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please let me know if you can hear me fine and if you can speak as well.
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Can you hear? Okay,
Yes,
cool.
yes, I can. All right, so the first, again, this is going to just be a panel session, and we're basically going to be talking about what the next steps would be after, doing your design course. These are our amazing graduates from the 1000 Women in Design Scholarship, the class of 2022. So let's start with, tell us a little bit about yourself and, what got you started in design, basically. I'll start with you, Bola.
Okay. All right, I'll go first. Hi everyone. My name is Bola Tito. I am so I like to call myself at least I started calling myself a creative individual that expresses himself through different media, right? So brand design, illustration, visual design, animation. So I do some of them and I'm learning to do more. I currently co-manage Smiley's Africa and Noni Brands, and I lead design at Ingressive. And then what got me started in design, I think it was in 2013, thereabouts. And it was really just to survive in school. I needed something to help me get by. Allowance wasn't enough. And I needed to start looking for ways to make an extra buck here and there. So that's how I got started. Like that's what led me to design. My brother was, and he used to draw a lot, and he was trying to use Photoshop to create or turn his drawings in digital. And so I would steal his laptop once in a while to learn how to use Photoshop, and that's really how I got into design. And well, the rest is history from there. Yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bola. So I'm going to be moving on to Itsuno as well. Hi, Itsuno.
Okay, hi guys. First of all, okay, so I like to be addressed Itsunoloa info. So I
Okay.
appreciate if you stick to that. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Okay, so I am Itsunoloa, also known as the Sabi designer. I'm a visual designer at Over. I think I've been in design, say, roughly 3 years now. So, and I started out, or I probably learned about what design what actually was like 2018, because I studied microbiology while I was in school. So, while studying the microbiology and stuff. So I think when I was in 400 level, a friend of mine, we kind of got into a conversation, and honestly, I had no idea what design was all about. In fact, I had no idea what tech or any of that was all about. So I think it was just born out of curiosity. So it was like, okay, so aside microbiology, what else can you like do? And it was just like a challenging question. So I said, nothing really, to be fair. But then I like photography. So it was like, oh, would I want to try photography, right? Or as at that time, it was actually the publicity secretary for my fellowship. So it designs, right? It uses Corridor as at that time. So, and I was like, okay, so what you do, can I actually like learn it? And it was like, sure, why not? Even though I had a constraint, I didn't have a laptop as at that time. It was just kind of like constraining, but then eventually I just decided to give it a shot. And from there, like Bola Tito said the other time, the rest is history. Like I just got like literally glued, and from there I evolved and I became a better person each day. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Itsuno. Thank you for sharing that. So we have Bolale in the house. Hi. Hi, Victor, as well. Thank you so much for joining. So I guess the question was, tell us a little bit about yourself, although I know everybody knows Bolale already, and what aspect of design that you're into.
Thank you very much for that question. And I'm very sorry for joining late. I was just in the middle of work, so I almost forgot. So thank you very much. So how I got into design. I got into design because I've always been passionate about, combining colors, combining maybe typefaces, combining all these different elements together to just express my creativity, let people know what I'm thinking about, So as soon as I got the chance to work as a designer, I took that chance. I studied mass communication, and it wasn't what I really wanted to do because it was the complete opposite of me. I was really shy in university and maybe secondary school as well. So I'm not the kind of person who would want to stand in front of people. So I'd say that my current reality is kind of like a big shock to even me myself, because I get to speak in front of people now. Maybe 7 years ago, it wasn't that way. So mass comm was like was the obvious, wrong move. But then I did mass comm because it was what was available at that time. And it was the closest to, for me, it was the closest to what I really wanted to do. And so I did mass comm and I finished. And then I remember my grandmother would say, oh, very soon we're going to see Bolale, on TV, like those newscasters. And remember, I'll be like, God forbid, like, and I'm not going to do this. This is not what I want to do in my life. I'm the wrongest person for that, but what I really did want to do, is just design. And it was really scary because my elder sister studied marine fisheries. I have a brother who studied mathematics. I have another one who studied engineering. And then I was just that person. And I'm like, you know what, I want to do design. So I didn't even bother telling anybody. I just thought, you know what, I'll just keep this to myself until they stop worrying about me. And then I can now maybe take care of myself and I can now make that decision. And also, as soon as I finished university, I remember very clearly, that day I wrote my last paper at LASU. And I stood in front of the gates and I told myself, I was asking myself like very, genuine questions. I was like, what am I going to do in my life? I don't have a job as a designer. Nobody's going to hire me. I mean, who's good? I don't know companies that hire designers. At that point, I didn't know. And I was like, I don't even want to work I don't want to work as a, in a newsroom or as a newscaster or anything. That's not my passion. So I felt very confused. But I remember that. So at a point, we're preparing for, I think we were writing, I can't really remember very well, but I think I was doing my projects. And then, someone reached out to me, and I was in school, and she's like, you know what, blah, 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 blah. We saw your illustrations, come and work as a comic designer. And I was like, you know what, this is like the closest thing to design. Let me just take it. And so I took on that job, and I resumed since I was just doing my projects. It was easy for me. And I remember that I would draw comics, and even though it wasn't what I really wanted to do, but it was close, and I just held on to it with my life. I remember I couldn't tell my dad what I was doing. I couldn't tell him, oh, I'm actually a comic illustrator. Look at me like I'm on serious. So I just told him I'm working for this company, blah, blah, blah. And so one day I remember I bought him this very big hamper, and it was so full, and I spent money buying it. And it was like, oh, like, where did you get this money? I'm like, yeah, I got paid a salary. Like, I now earn a salary. Like, I'm not suffering. I can take care of myself now. And since that day, it was easy for me to just, focus on what I really wanted to do, grow in my career without anyone worrying about, if I was going to survive or not. And so from that day, I was able to just pursue design. So I moved from being a comic illustrator to a graphic designer, and from being a graphic designer, I moved to becoming a brand identity designer. And so that has been the progression, really. And I'll say that at the core of everything for me, it is just me being that person who is looking for opportunities to express what I'm thinking on the inside, bring everything, just create like a visual representation of my imagination, and just allowing people just understand it, and just maybe solving problems with that as well. I hope I answered your question correctly without saying too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Bolale. Yeah, we've all missed your voice. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So finally, we have Victor. Hi, Victor. It's so amazing to have you on here with us as well. So the same question. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the aspect of design that you're currently in.
Okay, a little bit about myself and what's the second part?
The aspects of design that you're currently in.
Okay. First, I'm happy to finally make it. I was struggling to get in A bit about myself. Victor Fatomi, I identify as a brand consultant, and identity campaigner. That's the way I describe myself, from a sense of my purpose, which is finding my voice and helping others find theirs. Through Fourth Canvas, we consult for businesses, helping businesses to become brands, leading them on the path to sustainable brand transformation. That's been one of many other ways in which I have been very interested in helping to find voice from noise, helping to find paths, helping to find distinction, helping to lead people on the path to being confident in their own sense of purpose, and bringing that out there to life. Now, design is a tool with which we do that. So I started off 2011. I was in uni, and I was just curious. I think from boarding house, I had this perspective that when you get to uni, you always do something else apart from what you're studying. So I was just open, I wanted to be an event planner. And then I used Microsoft Word to design something like a logo for that event planning idea. I thought I could do it because as a kid, I was very like artistic, would, cut newspapers and make all of that kind of stuff. So, but I did not realize that there was a field called design. But then my brother ran a magazine and he would pay people to design. And then when he brought the designs to him, I would have opinions on those designs, right? And then he would say, you have opinions, you should probably just learn this thing. I didn't have the money to pay them for how much those guys charged. So, but they left the corridor on my laptop. They were checking the designs with my laptop and they left the corridor on my laptop. And then so I would just play with the software. And that was how I began. Then I started making logos for my friends, making stuff for the student association in school. Started identifying as a designer. One day I printed my designs on an A4 paper and showed some guy who, was part of this league of guys that represented the university in Microsoft competitions and all of those things. Just looked like someone who you should know. Then I showed him what I could do. I was like, oh, my friends and I are trying to start a tech company with the logo. And then they paid, it was 10,000 naira, right? And that was the start. That was encouraging, like, oh, cool. I mean, how much was my parents were sending maybe 15,000 naira to me. And I just got 10,000 naira after making the logo. And it felt like, okay, this is something. This could become something. But my journey soon changed in a way because I got so interested in that experience of, for me, what I did for them wasn't just doing a design. I solved the problem. And I got more interested in the relationships with people like that and everything that went in, behind, and around the work, so much that it brought out the entrepreneurial side in me. I met one man as well who gave a talk that kind of brought the entrepreneurial side out. Then I met Bolaji, who would watch me miss deadlines and struggle to be organized because yes, I had design ideas, but that was as far as it went. I had no that I couldn't organize my life or my work. So, and then Bolaji brought that. And suddenly we had this really cool looking partnership and it was called VGC Media. And we got an office where we shared office at some points on campus and started to feel like, okay, we're running something. And then I brought in one or two other students who were designers on campus. And then gradually I grew in that direction of the sales, in that direction of managing those other people we brought on, in that direction of writing and telling our story. Some of that today, when you ask what aspect of design do I do, it's none. I tell the stories, I relate with the clients, I envision and lead the team towards our vision to be a top 10 brand design agency in the world by 2025, which is our goal from day one in 2015, 10 years. That was like a 10-year vision. It's been 7 years now. I no longer do any design. I designed my latest ebook myself, so I still have the skill. But the designs I did while I designed was brand design. I enjoyed editorial design. I probably designed a screen before in terms of like a user interface, but my background is brand design. What I do closest to brand work right now is brand strategy, but I'm not directly executing. I'm more now engrossed in the business of leading the business. Yes, I have enjoyed meeting and working with several amazing designers. I'm happy to see Sabi designer in the call. Really happy to see Bolanle of the call. Those are two people I've heard about. So I've heard from once I jumped on. The stories inspire me, and yes, it's been great to just be part of that community and just watch people, to see what Bolanle is doing with education and with the agency and with the career and what Itunu is doing in product space. So I'm just, I think I've answered the question.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Now that we've heard from everyone, I hope you have your pens and paper ready because we're going to be going deeper into the house. We're going to be going deeper into what are the next steps. So My next question would be, and I'm going to be starting with Itinoluwa, then Bolanle, then Victor, then Bola. So I don't worry, I'll call you. So the next question is, what next steps should our 1,000 women in design graduates start taking to increase their skill sets and specifically employability?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
go ahead.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I think I'll use my story to probably like answer that and inspire any other person here, right? So I'll pick up from when I actually got into design, right? So when I was more like a novice, right? About the existence of design, right? So, and I think for me as a person, when I started out, you know, I had so many constraints. I couldn't afford the laptop, right? Eventually, let's say one way or the other, right? I was able to, I guess, I got a scholarship. I was able to get a laptop, right? So I got the laptop, and that was how the whole thing, like, so let's say it all started like 2019. So, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. Okay. So 2019. So I just had to like go fully into that. So one of the things I actually did was, first of all, I started learning the basics of design. You know, I started like from YouTube, even though I was really clueless. I didn't know what I was actually doing, to be fair. I was just there. I was learning YouTube videos, you know, doing so many things, trying to know how to do brand, logo, graphic design. I had issues with designing flyers. It was really a struggle, right? So I was struggling with all of these things, but then I was like, I mean, I kept growing and I kept like impacting myself. Then eventually, I think one of the things that now helped me further was the existence of conferences. I remember very well, that was, I don't know, I think Victor Fatomi was actually there. It was in Akure. I think that was around 2019, thereabout. There was these design hangouts that they did. And let's just say that thing literally changed my life. But I met a lot of people, right? I connected, even though it was like kind of like against my personality. I'm always like very shy. So let me tell you for sure, your personality can get into the way when you're actually in this tech thing and being a designer. So I was like, you know, kind of like introverted. So I was always scared to talk to people. I was very shy and stuff. But I remember someone told me that if I really want to succeed in this thing, I have to like let go of my comfort zone, like come out of it and leverage all that, like the other things that I think I could do. So I tried to like meet up to people, you know, connected with them. So I think from there, I leverage on community. So from the people that I met, I was able to like, you know, they were in one community or the other, and community was even built out of that stuff that we did, right? And from there, people were sharing articles, they were sharing ideas. I was seeing other people's works. I was learning one way or the other. Like I was speaking of this thing. I was actually intentional about my growth, and I really wanted to get really better. And at that time, I think I had not learned the basic principle of design. So 2019, then funny enough, Ford Canvas came to Ibadan. So I was pretty fortunate they came, and I learned from Mary A. Victor Fathom is aware, yeah. And that was how I actually got to know about the principle of design. I knew how to design, but I don't know about, you know, principle of design, and it was messing up my job, what I could do, right? There's no way, you know, you would see somebody, you can see that this person has potential, but then it's just all over the place, right? So when I was able to like get to know the principle of design, coupled with what I did, and I just had to like keep learning. And once, I think at some point, I just know I was actually ready. So I had to start building my portfolio, which is going to lead us to employability, right? So I started building my portfolio. I never stopped going to conferences. I remember one thing I did. That was the first edition that Bolanle Bawo did at Lagos. I was in Akure, I think TDFM. I remember that I challenged myself that I was that crazy. I just wanted to grow. I left Akure and I traveled to Lagos. I don't know anybody. There was no place I was going to stay. in Lagos, and I traveled to Lagos that day. I came back to Akure that same day. It was very crazy. I'm not even going to lie, it was very crazy for me, but it was because I was really desperate to learn. And that day we were taught stuff like, and I was able to take one of those things right with me. Then gradually I started growing. Then one thing that I think helped me was that I was learning on the job. Because the next thing, I think after I built my portfolio, right, I got into agency. For me, agency really built me. I'm not going to get like, it built my tenacity, my strength, my ability to like, push out work very fast or do anything. Like agency really helped me. So I started with agency. I think I started with Noazak, and it was a lot of work. It pushed me like really, really hard, right? Gradually, but then my portfolio was getting more robust. And from there, I went to pause. And I told myself it's about time I think I want to switch into fintech properly, right? And leave agency life. Then I tried to like start applying. And while applying, there was applying. I had a lot of discovery about, what should be my portfolio, what should not be my portfolio, my CV, how I was supposed to like arrange my CV. These things are really very, very important. I didn't pay attention to my CV at first, I was just doing my thing because I felt like it was all about my work, right? But then my CV computation was not really good enough. But then gradually I had to like, based on exposure, meeting with people reviewing your stuff, people reviewing your work, the arrangement, the documentation, all of it. I was really intentional about all of these things. And I think it's something everybody should incorporate like as you're growing. So, and one thing that is very certain is that growth never really stops. It never does. Like it's just a continual process. So once I actually said, okay, I was actually ready to actually like crossover to fintech. So all of those things I've actually worked on, I had to work on other projects, like get a freelance project that was towards that direction so that I could know that, okay, I could actually succeed in this part. Then I had to learn more about at least basics about products, what it means to be in a fintech space. And gradually, and when I got the job eventually, which is where I am currently, I had to like, okay, yes, this is it, right? And there were other things that were, because the fact that I was switching from agency to fintech, it came with a lot of things I had to learn. Do you understand? Know about how to document well, knowing about this technical gibberish and understanding them, and even having to the style like is totally different from saying, okay, maybe you're actually working in an agency. So I had to learn all of these things. And if I'm to project, which I will, right, and further in life, there are so many things that I've actually learned, or I'm still currently learning while working, right? So the thing is just that I think from my story, if you can trace back from everything I've said, like you have to connect with people, you have to build community. Like community works for me because it's really hard for me to say maybe one-on-one with people, but the community, I get to have a wide range. It gives me a lot of opportunity to see where people are coming from, the perspective and stuff, right? And it was through community I could even understand about the business of design, because I really do not have any idea about that. I could not know how to charge. Then when I was growing up, but because of the community, I was able to understand about, how to charge, or how do I do my stuff, and so community really helped me. So you might be the type of person that might look into building community or having a community, right? And also know that you have to be very intentional about your growth, like very, very intentional about your growth. You have to like probably, let's say, look up to people that have gone ahead of you. It makes the journey kind of like really easier, right? Because one thing that, like, if someone should come and meet me, the way I would address a particular situation, you would have to actually go through that, because I've experienced that, right? So that is also very important. And okay, I think the last thing I'll just say is really just keep learning and make sure even when you get the job, right, you have to continually learn on the job, because that's not where it actually ends. You have to continually learn. You would actually see it because you have to be able to track your growth. You have to be able to see it, right? And see the difference, literally. So all of these things are really important. And I think that's all I have to say. And I hope it's answered the question. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely, it did. Thank you so much, Itinoloa. One thing that I'm taking from here is community. Oh my God, we don't stress that enough. at Ingressive for good. We love the community. Our what we do is is for the community, is for you. Y'all make up what we do. And right after you graduating, once you join the alumni, we also have the 1000 Women in X community, just specifically for women. So, woo, thank you so much. So we're moving on to Bolanle. Hi, Bolanle.
Hello.
Yeah. So next steps, and specifically for this to increase the skill set and employability.
Okay. So employability. Okay, so I think the first thing I would say is so there are different paths, right? And so it's either you get, as soon as you're done with your courses and everything, it's either you get this opportunity to work with a company, or if that is taking a while, you start to think to yourself, what can I do then? You're thinking, okay, how do I, build my profile? How do I build my personal brand? What do I need to do to put myself in a position where I'm able to make money? Because at the end of the day, whether you're getting a paid job, like a full-time job, a full-time role, or you're working, for yourself, you realize that nothing encourages people more, or nothing would encourage you more than you're getting paid for what you do. It just gives you that confidence that, yes, I'm making sense. All this time I'm putting into this, everything makes a lot of sense. But the first thing I would say is think about yourself as, I'll say, or let me just put it this way, add value to yourself. Like you are the greatest investment ever. Like invest in yourself. And I'm not going to try to make this difficult to understand. I'm going to explain. Now, I remember there was this person that I had the opportunity to mentor. I remember she was telling me, oh, you know what? She's in one of the states in Nigeria. Can't really remember the state, but she's there. Everyone, the way we think that Lagos has like all the opportunities and everything. And so she was thinking of coming to Lagos because she just picked up product design, and she was like, how is she going to leave her mother? How is she going to just start a new life? She can't just leave her mom. And I told her, and I said, if this is something you really want to do, then you have to do it. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to try to, say things to make you feel so pumped up, and then you realize that, oh my God, I'm making a mistake. I needed her to understand that it is going to be difficult, but she needed to make a move. And so she listened to me. So what she did was, she took, there was a job in Lagos, and the job was paying about 30K. And it was such a difficult job as a product designer. And, she would send me messages saying, oh my God, she's going through a lot, and the person, the superior is making life difficult for her. And I told her one thing. I said, this is your opportunity to take in so much, soak yourself in, forget about the money they're paying you. Just think about all the people you're working with, learn from them, take as much. Because one thing is this, even if they fire you today, they can take everything away from your laptop, your internet, everything you have, but they can never take the knowledge, the experience you've gained over time. And I told her that. And so what she did was, things didn't get easier, but she gained momentum. She gained, just like what Sabi designer said. She said, agency work, made her into what she is, built her confidence, built her work, the capacity to do so much work. And that's what it actually does. It did the same for me as well. So for this lady, she kept enduring. Then all of a sudden, an opportunity came, and then she took it. And then, she had worked in this company in Lagos for a while. I'm not going to mention names. And after going through so much, and then there's opportunity. But basically, to cut the long story short, now she's in, I think, Amsterdam, working as a product designer with a really big company. And I see her pictures, then I'm just smiling. I'm like, oh my God, this is like really, really cool. She went from living a village to coming to Lagos. And I realized that it's the same way with everyone. You realize that you are at that crossroad, you're thinking to yourself, okay, now I don't have the opportunity, or I'm doing this job, I don't know if I'm growing. It's because most times we tend to focus on the things you're not meant to focus on. So at this stage, as much as you want to make money, the greatest investment you can make right now is the investment in knowledge. I'm going to quote a really smart person. I like to quote my husband because he's one of the smartest persons I've met. He always says to Mrs. Bolanle, if you want to be as good as you want to be, or you want to get to that level you want to get, you have to be curious at all times. You cannot stop being curious. Only people who are curious are able to, like, stretch out their hands, do so much more. So it's the same thing I'm going to tell you here. Be curious at all times. Like, do not be complacent. Do not think that, okay, that's the end. I've been designing for, I'll say I've been opening, these design tools for maybe over 7 years, maybe almost 10 years, professionally, maybe 7 years, but it doesn't really matter. It almost feels like I picked up design yesterday or last week. I get to learn from people. Right now I have designers who are working, at my agency, and sometimes they bring in a new idea. I'm like, wow, you know what? Teach me. Let me see what this is. I want to learn. And they're like, are you sure? Yes, I want to. So we do this thing in my company where every week each person would tell us what they've learned during the week, so everyone can learn. So you would learn from each other, because whether you spend 10 years or 5 years or 2, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is you need to be curious, because if you're not curious, you're going to stay on one level. And then you realize that people are coming and they're building more and they're doing so much more, and you're just on that level. So the first thing, like I mentioned, invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, be curious, be willing to learn, be hungry. Just like Sabina said, she was hungry for knowledge. She went to that extra length, she was asking questions, communicating with people. This is not the time to keep quiet. You have people online, people like Designer Babe, all these people who are doing, really great things. You see them do great branding projects. You see Victor, you see people like Victor, and you like what they do. You send them messages. Even if they don't respond to you, you will feel bad, but also know there's actually a phase. You need to just go through this phase. Now, after you've done that, you've made the right connections, you've built value, you've invested in yourself and all those things. I want you to be the second thing I would say, or maybe the third or fourth, I'm not even counting, but I'll say that be open to correction. Now, a lot of times, you post your work, you like the likes are good. Let me tell you what the likes will do to you. Now, if you are constantly expecting likes and expecting, people just praising your work, you will never grow, because it is nice. It's nice to post your work on social media and people are like, oh my God, this is good, this is amazing. But you also have to seek people who will tell you the truth, who will tell you that, oh, this thing that you've done, now it's going to hurt your ego. You're going to feel like, I know better than you, but it would actually help you. A much better design. Like, I'm constantly improving as a designer, because I have people around me who are constantly testing out my work. Sometimes I do a design and I show it to, because my husband works in tech as well, and he understands good design. And I show it to him, I show it to his friends, I show it to my friends who are like, senior designers as well. And they go through like, okay, this is good. Wow, this is good. I'm like, okay, you can correct this, you can correct this. Be open to, corrections at all times. Be open. Don't be difficult. Don't be a difficult person to correct, basically. Don't allow pride in, don't be complacent. You understand? So that's like the maybe fourth or fifth thing, I don't know. But I would also say, so I mentioned to be curious, and I would also say that money would come. I've never seen anyone who is like extremely skillful and they're putting in as much work who remained like, a failure. I would say that, there might be cases like that, but let's just focus on this now. I don't want to say too more, but basically, I would say that put in as much work as you want to put, and always understand that your gifts, the things you can do, will definitely make you stand in front of kings. And I'm not even trying to quote the scripture here, but it's actually the truth. It is actually the truth. So you realize that you're doing work. As at the point when I started working on my designs, it wasn't my intention to grow my followership on social media. It wasn't my intention to do the things I need and that I'm doing now. They just happened. They happened because I already had the skill. I knew what I was doing. So you want to focus on actually building yourself, so that when you start getting the publicity, you can actually defend it. You don't want publicity that you cannot defend. People begin to praise your work, but in actual fact, you're not good enough. And so it means that you've grown prematurely. So this is the time where it feels like you are eating. Nobody knows your name. It is the best time. Build yourself. Do as much work as you can do. Be open to corrections. Communicate with people. Join communities like the Ingressive alumni group that was talked about here. Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. So join all these communities, communicate more with people, don't be shy, ask questions, improve on your designs, learn the principles of designs like she mentioned. Practice these principles. It would actually help you. I think that's basically all I would say for now until I'm asked the next question. Thank you. I hope that helped actually.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Bolande. I think you covered a lot. So I'm going to be moving on to Victor and then Bola.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to start from a major point that Bolande emphasized, which is on curiosity. You can't, if I say share a lot, you might say, well, how much do I know yet? But at any point that you are, I don't need to know what you know. I know that you can ask questions. And asking questions, apart from the fact that it gives you the answers and helps you to know more, just merely asking questions can open doors for you. Because the world is filled with so many people screaming over one another. Not many people are listening. We don't have enough people who are listening. Merely listening and asking questions can build for you a good foundation in terms of the networking, in terms of the relationships that will then come back to help you. But of course, you should not ask questions. I don't mean that you ask questions as a tactic. I'm saying ask questions indeed because you want to know. I know that you want to know. That's why you are here. That's why you finished the course. You want to know. So I'm saying express the, add to the expression of your desire for knowledge. You have taken a course. But I'm saying beyond this, continue to ask questions. Ask questions when you meet people physically. Ask questions when people post stuff digitally. And surely while you're asking, you're making efforts to read articles, you're making efforts to learn more things, because it also helps to improve the quality of the questions you're asking. So curiosity. And sometimes your curiosity will not only drive you to ask questions, it will drive you to, sometimes you can get in a dark hole. You're researching a topic on Google and you just keep going and you just keep going and you just keep going and you're just lost after, it's like you're lost into it. That's good. And then again, one thing you should know, you all are in the field of digital design, product design. You need to know that the concept of digital design is based on existing principles that are all around you. Your table, your chair, the home, integration system, yes. In your everyday life, there's a lot of inspiration for you. Ask questions. Why is this done this way? Why does this work like this? It improves the quality of your thinking in digital design. Because in the digital world, we're just replicating realities that have been around for centuries. Humans have tried to make things look better, make things work better, with the things they molded, with the things they welded. The principles are all around you. The inspiration is all around you. So be very, very curious. I would also say tell your story. You might wonder that storytelling is meant for people like myself, like Bolale, like to know people, they've done stuff and then they are looking back and telling their story. No, that's not true. We're all on a journey that still seems very far from us. None of us feels like, okay, it's time to share my success story. I would say we're sharing our succeeding story. We're sharing our progress story. And you already have a progress story. You're not on day one. This is not day one for you. You are graduating from a course that you learned a lot during the course. One, I'm very sure of that. You met people during this course. I'm very sure of that. You struggle with some tasks during this course. I'm certain of that.
Yeah, I think we lost Victor. Is it just me? Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So Victor is frozen. Internet. All right. So while we try to figure that out, Bola, do you want to jump in and answer your question?
So do you mean
Oh, there's Bola Tito as well.
yes, you actually need to call my
Yeah.
full name for me to know.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So Bola Tito, head of design at Ingressive Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Well, like everybody else spoken on some really important points already. Curiosity, investing in your knowledge, joining a community. I think those are all really important things. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, so those are all really important steps that you should take after the graduating from this class or after this training or this course that you've taken. What I will add on to that is I guess something that I wish I had figured out early on myself, and which is trying to figure out what aspect of design you're passionate about and figure out the kind of place that you want to work. I started out with learning graphic design, and I felt very strongly about working in tech at that time. So I tried to learn product design, I tried to transition to product design, but it wasn't really engaging me as much as I would like. And I gradually started, I guess, falling back to graphic design, but that evolved to me studying doing brand design, right? So I wish I didn't have to waste that time that I spent to learn product design. Like, it's not everybody doesn't have to be a product designer, right? Even though that's we have a lot of product designers right now. So like figure out what aspect of design you're passionate about. I think that's really important. It's important to also fine tune what it is you want to get out of whatever job that you get. You figuring out the kind of place you want to work in, like what you want to get out of it, what industry you want to work in, what kinds of companies do you want to work in, or what kinds of teams do you want to work in. I think those are really important next steps after, I guess, learning, after this stage of your career, of your learning progress. And then I would also say, yes, build a portfolio. I mean, I think that goes without saying. Everything that you have from this training it's an amazing start, because it's a basis for what you can build on. Like, you can build on everything that you currently have in your portfolio. But what I would add to that is, and I see this a lot, and it's to not stick to templates that you find online. And I think this speaks to the employability part. I was reading an article recently, and it was addressing this particular thing where portfolios are looking the same, case studies are looking the same. Like, so what's making your own portfolio stand out from the crowd? Like, what's making your own work different from every other person? And I think that one of the ways to help you stand out, help your portfolio stand out, is finding a way to, I guess, include your passion or your essence in your work. Like, if your essence shows through your work and through your portfolio, I think it helps you stand out and it increases your chances of getting a job. I use myself as an example. I love simplicity, and like, I don't want to live a simple life. Like, it shows through pretty much everything, every aspect of my life, including my work. And it doesn't matter what the project is, it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Like, it's an element that is always there. It's like my signature, pretty much. Right. So if anybody is going to be working with me, they know, like, this is what they're getting, right? Looking at my portfolio, or even from interactions, or even me as a person, like, that's one important thing that you're going to get from me. Like, simplicity is a huge thing for me. So yes, it's fine to start with templates. Like, you can find templates online to help you get started, but don't leave it at that, right? Find ways to add that special sauce. Like, what extra thing will employers be getting from you? Don't just leave it as a product designer, just leave it at screens of that you designed. Like, don't just leave it at that. Add something extra. If you're taking on hypothetical projects, like, find a different way to approach it. We see a lot of fintech case studies on Twitter, like, a lot, right? So find something else. Like, it doesn't have to be a fintech case study. If you're applying for a job in a fintech company, then that's a different thing. But it doesn't have to always be a fintech case study. It doesn't always have to be mobility. Like, there are a vast amount of I guess, industries that one can still design for, that you can create things to put in your portfolio. Yeah, so study what other people have done as well. How can you approach it differently? It doesn't mean that you should reinvent the wheel. Like, you're not reinventing how buttons are designed or how logos are designed. Like, you're not reinventing any of that. It's just you're looking for more interesting ways to present your work or to approach different projects. So I guess if I'm going to narrow it down to maybe 3 things, I'd say to one, figure out what aspect of design you're passionate about, what kind of place you want to work, build a portfolio so that at least when people ask you for something, ask for your work, you have something to present, and let your personality show through your work. All right, I think I'm done.
Great, thank you so much. So Victor is back. If Victor could finish sharing his thoughts from earlier.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So I was first to again connect to I didn't check the name, sorry, but to connect from where the last speaker finished, the portfolio, part of how you can make your portfolio stand out is the stories that you tell. So stories can come from 2 different perspectives, because I was talking about storytelling before I left, so I thought I could connect that as well. Apart, there is describing the thinking, right? The research and what you did. There is also sharing other bits where you may not think that the audience or the reader is interested, which is just the reality of your experience while at it. If you met someone while you were doing some user survey, and you chatted with them about some other parts of their life, and it gives you a more rounded perspective about the user, you could throw in something like that. You might think it is the things that you learned from the interview alone that matters. That's because you are thinking about it too much in a logical way. You're thinking, okay, technicality, let's just leave only the facts. But we're humans, right? We're humans. The person trying to hire you is human. And the people you work with are human. So you can't afford to think only technically when telling your story. And you should know that at the stage you are, nobody is trying to hire you as an expert in the first place. So also be okay with embracing the truth of your story. Do not be shy to say if you were scared while doing something, it's a part of your story. If you were not really sure until eventually it got clearer and you got more confident in it, if there was a part of what you are presenting, and even till now that you're presenting it, you're not so sure if it's the best, but it's your attempt, and hopefully you will maybe update it over time as you understand more about that thing. If that's the truth, share it. Nobody's trying to hire you as an expert in the first place. At this stage, as an employer, I can tell you, if I'm hiring someone at your stage, what I'm looking for is the spirit that you put to the work. I'm not trying to read your portfolio or case study and have you sound like Big Zedan or some top level product designer who can come in and lead a team and do some of the really best, work in that sense. I'm just trying to hire someone with the right traits, someone with the right spirit, someone with the right attitude. And your storytelling, your case studies can just be true to that. They don't have to try to sound like an expert because, well, you're not an expert yet, but let it still bear the confidence of your effort. Let it still bear the confidence of your attempt, right? But again, let it be your truth. Let it be your truth. Let it be your truth. So tell your story. And I'll bring this part from, there's a book. This is my 3rd point. I have 4 points. There's a book that I grew up seeing in my dad's diary, in my dad's library. I should have read it around maybe 15, but I procrastinated over and over and over again. So much that the first time I read it was this year. It's a popular book you've probably heard about. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's a classic that you have probably come across and just moved on, like one of those self-help books, and just moved on. Read it. Yeah, I read it this year, and it's I don't know, changed my life is not an open topic to say, but it did change my life. I think that everybody should read it. Because one of the things it will do for you is you need to set a big picture, a vision for your life. We all want big things, but there is a very huge difference between wanting big things and specifying those things. Like if I ask you now, you might say, of course, I have a vision for my life and I want to be successful. I want to, no, pick a pen and a biro and describe exactly what you mean by success, whatever that means to you. And I have a version of it that's like life, which by life, it could be 20 years time or 30 years time, right? I have a version that's like a year's time, in 1 year. Be very clear on those two things. I have like 2 simple sentences or 3 sentences. I shared mine in my recent ebook that I just released. If you're following me, you could check my bio to get the link. I shared my own statements. It's a bit longer, but it all comes back to like 1, 2, 3 first statements. And you need to, again, this sounds like motivational speak, but I've seen it in practical reality. You need to repeat it to yourself in the mornings and the nights. And you need to think of them and think, what am I doing today? Right? Because you don't want to lie to yourself, right? As you speak about the very big goals that you want, then every day you need to say, I'm not a fraud in my pursuit of these goals. So what am I doing today that aligns? No, keep it over. No, keep it over. What am I doing today that aligns with this thing I want? What am I doing this week? What am I doing this month? Then all of the routine, because routine is my 4th point, all of the routine and efforts and hard work that you need to put into the work of your growth, it's easier for you to get out of bed when you have a big, ambitious goal that you're seeking. So if I ask you, are you very ambitious with your goal? Do you want big things? You say yes. If I ask you, can you tell me exactly what you mean by that? Many of you can answer that. And share that if you want to fix that. You want to fix that. That's all I'm going to add. So set a vision, a big vision, repeat it to yourself. Let it walk into your subconscious. Then your mind, in fact, when you're sleeping or when you're not actively thinking, your mind is working on its own, looking for ideas for you because you've repeated what you want so much that now there's the deeper part of it that is actually working on your behalf even when you're resting. So, and then have a routine. Routines are boring. Routines are not so attractive to us young people, and especially the younger ones in the Gen Z category. Routines are boring. Routines are not cute. Well, but the people you're looking up at right now, at all levels, a lot of them got there with the power of routines. It's like designing a routine. Routine is repetition, right? Greatness is a lot of repetition of habits. Greatness is habit. Success is a habit. So you need to know what you do in the mornings, what you do in the nights that align with the big picture that you have for your life. So I came from a different perspective, but you can apply this thing because I'm sharing some of the things I teach in my Protenex community, but you can apply these things in product design, you can apply it in all the things that you're looking for. So curiosity, tell your story, set a vision, and repeat it, then have a routine for growth. Yeah, I'll keep it at that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Victor. I mean, I think you already covered the final questions that we were going to ask, which was when hiring, what are the things you look out for in portfolio and, in the person? And you talked about spirit, talked about curiosity as well. And just two parts in one question. So the final question was going to be, what's final words of encouragement, in 30 seconds to 1 minute, what final words of encouragement do you want to give to our women today?
Okay. Am I supposed to start out or
yes,
go around again?
I'll start with you and then go around. Yeah, because you already answered the first question.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. This is what I would say. This I would say to you all amazing ladies. Do not disqualify yourself ahead of anything. That's where I will end. Do not disqualify yourself ahead of anything. Apply, ask, try, demand, and let them say no. And then you go again. Do not sit down and say, not sure I'm good enough for that. Not sure I'm qualified for that. Yeah. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll end with.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Victor. So I'll move on to Itunuoluwa, then Bola, and then Bolanle.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so I think what I would just like to say is just 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. Yeah. So first, put yourself out there. Right. I mean, imposter syndrome might want to eat you up and probably make you feel like, oh my God, I don't think I'm good enough. Right. I don't think I'm doing well. Right. But then don't let this eat you up. Just put yourself out there. It's a process. You're growing, it's allowed. And please don't be scared of failing. It's a process that I don't think everybody can actually run away from. Don't be scared of failing. When you're trying and you're doing your stuff and you think that you're probably not making progress or something, you might just need a friend around that may encourage you in the process and just like allow you to like push you literally, but then just make sure that you keep these things in your left hand, like they always say in Yoruba, like put yourself out there and never be scared of failing, like literally never be scared of it. Just do it, see, regardless, do it afraid. That's my own word. I do it, I like do it afraid. Maybe that might be a summary of it. Just do it afraid. Whatever you're doing in your career and whatever it is that you do it afraid. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Itinolua. Do it afraid. I hope you all heard that. All right, Bola Tito.
Right, so I would say take things one step at a time. So you see that big vision that you have or big goal that you have for yourself, like break it down into like tiny bite-sizes, tiny bite-sized goals that you can start targeting one step at a time, like one day at a time, one step at a time. Start small, so that you don't overwhelm yourself from the beginning. So you don't start overwhelming yourself with a lot of noise around, right? You have your goals, you have them broken down into small bits and take them one step at a time. By the time you look back a year, 2 years down the line, you realize how much that you have achieved as compared to trying to attain everything all at once. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Thank you.
Thank you, Bola Tito. All right, Bolande.
Okay. So I think my final advice would be to never compare yourself with anyone. So you are on this journey where I'm trying to imagine myself in your shoes right now. You've seen people, you just learned how to push pixels, create things, use Photoshop. You now understand the principles of design. You've created your first splash screen and all those things. And you're thinking, yes, I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to do this. And then the next thing, you go on Twitter and then you see those very, very great work. And you're like, oh my God, how am I going to start this? Like, this is too much. I can't do this. I want you to just focus on your journey. One of the things that I learned it the hard way, is that don't try to think about the destination, think about the journey. The journey itself is everything. The journey itself is the entire focus. So the journey means that there's never going to be that time where you feel like everything you've been trying to achieve, you've gotten there. Even the richest man in the world is still trying to make more money. So you would never get to that point unless you get complacent. You'll never get to that point where your work is, you're satisfied. So what does that mean? Do not kill yourself. Do not put yourself under undue pressure. Do not compare your journey with someone else. Some people are getting things faster than others, but you don't know what platforms they were able to climb on. You don't know the kind of help they got. You don't know the kind of things they did. You only know your own journey. You only know the things that you know. So do not compare yourself with the edited version of someone's life on social media. Do not compare your journey with them. This one just started design last year. He's already been invited to to speak. Okay, I want to do that now. And then truly that you're not as detailed yet. Truly you're not as good yet. And then you just want to just throw yourself out there because you want people to look at you in a certain light. I would say that be organic about your growth. Go with the journey. Share your work as much as you can. If you're invited to speak, take it. But do not ever compare your journey with other people. If you compare your journey with your journey, you realize that you're able to see what you've done in the past and you're able to compare to what you're doing currently. You're telling yourself that, yes, I'm actually growing. And this doesn't mean that you remain complacent. This doesn't mean that you don't grow as fast as you should. Obviously, you're going to be growing, but let me tell you something. Growth does not ever tell you it's actually happening. Growth just happens. You just keep growing and you don't even know it. And then one day you realize that, oh my God, I actually know so much more. So focus on your journey. Put in the hard work, the sleepless nights you have to, do all the things you have to. But then and always remember that your journey is your journey. Own it. Do not compare yourself with anyone. Do not get depressed when you see the kind of designs that you cannot do now, because eventually you will definitely do them. So that's basically what I like to say, because I think we've said everything else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bolande. Wow, take a breather, everyone. I hope you got this down. on your pen and paper. I hope you have this written down. Keep it in your left hand, just like Itinolu said. Please do not forget everything that they've shared today. Do not take it for granted. There's a reason why we invited this very special designers. And, you know, I really hope, I'm looking forward to the amazing stories that we're going to be telling in the next, you know, couple of weeks, couple of months. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you to Nulua. Thank you, Bola Tito. And thank you to Bolanle as well. You've shared amazing stuff with us today, and we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Everyone, please say thank you to our panelists. All right, so yes, thank you. And don't forget to tag them on socials by the time they're sharing our graduation. We're going to be having some graduation celebration that we're going to share on socials. So I hope you're excited. We're going to be sharing everyone's handle as well. Fauzi or Temilola would be sharing their handles. Go ahead to tag them on socials. Yeah. So before we move on to the next step, there are two major things, actually three major things that we want to do. One, we want to talk about the alumni and the survey. I know a lot of people have filled the survey. If you haven't, go ahead to fill it. Once you fill the survey, you're going to get an email that would invite you to join the alumni. All these informations are what we need to be able to, you know, place you in jobs and get you connected with, you know, potential hirers and companies and stuff like that. So we're going to look at two more things. We're going to look at Fauzi is going to be spotlighting the study team leads, just a couple of minutes to, you know, celebrate them and congratulate them as well. And the Blessing would be sharing, you know, time to graduate, final words, and then, yeah. So do we have Fauzi here? Let's see. Okay, looks like we don't. All right, so I'll try to see where she is. But let's move on to Blessing. Hi, Blessing. Is Blessing here?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much, Hanifa.
All right. Yeah, so go ahead.
Hi, beautiful ladies and our amazing panelists. So first, I want to thank our panelists for making out time to be here and share all those amazing gems that they have shared. Thank you so much, panelists. And every lady that is here, if you got anything from anything our panelists said, right? Anything you learned, whatever it is, please just make a tweet or an Insta stories or a LinkedIn post posting one thing you learned from what your panelists said, right? What that would do for you is, you don't know, one day you might be reminded about it. You might go back and remember this day. Another thing could be that when you tag them, they'll retweet and you might get visibility in front of the people that need to see you. Another thing could be that Ingressive for Good would retweet as well and just give you that visibility. Remember what Victor said about sharing. And sharing doesn't always have to be your designs that you're sharing. Sometimes it's like sharing your learnings as well. I wanted to take this moment to thank every single one of you for completing your courses. I want to thank you all. You are amazing. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much for completing your courses. Out of all 1,000 women, 700 people completed, 704 completed, and we have a lot of you on this call right now. We're so proud of you. We want you to know that we fully support you. We love you, and we think, and we really believe in you, right? We know that you can go ahead and do amazing things. There's some of you that are already getting jobs. We're here to help you catalyze that. We really want you to grow. We really want you to succeed. So if you have any ways or success stories that you feel like, you know, learning this course has transformed your life, please feel free to send it to hello@ingressive.org. We want to be able to spotlight you and celebrate your story. And even if you don't feel like, you know, if you don't have clarity on what next for you, feel free to reach out to us, ask us questions. We're here to help and support you. And if we see opportunities that are going to be helpful and valuable for you, we'll be happy to share with you as well, which is really the function of the alumni community. It's a community that's there to support you and help you get to the next level. And I hope that Fauzi would be able to talk more on that. But we're so proud of you, and we're so proud of you. And I just wanted you to know that Thank you so much for making us proud. Thank you for not wasting our money. Thank you for taking the courses seriously. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really, really love you.
Awesome. Thank you, Blessing. I just saw somebody in the chat box saying, thank you, I4G. I got the job. Woo! Congratulations. Love it for you. Thank you, Blessing, for that message. I wanted to quickly spotlight our amazing women. Some of these women, we created study groups, and we wanted to use this opportunity to get people to buddy up. We had women who volunteered to lead these study groups, and they did amazing, right? What they did was they helped their fellow members to complete, they helped to lead the WhatsApp group. Anyone that was having issues, they helped to guide that person. And it was Fauzi from the I4G team that led this program. So these are the women. I feel like I'm calling out the awards, but yeah, you guys you deserve it. You have awards. We've created your stories and posted them on our blogs, but I just wanted you to use this opportunity again, that your names are on our wall of fame. So here we go. Agnes Iye Idoko, thank you so much. Thank you. Aminat Kehinde Akande, we love you. Chimgozirim Amadi, you're amazing. Dare Praise Muleri, wonderful. Ewolua Balogun Deborah, thank you so much. Poweshere Mojisala, thank you for your help. Gloria Odo, Leah Olorunfemi, thank you so much. Mercy Polayan, Nancy Ungugi, thank you. Ogechi Abangu, Oluwakemi Bankole, thank you so much. Oluwatofumi Felicia Okopu, Omowumi Olakunle, Onya Nwakaegu, thank you. Precious Adeshina, Roseline Ezenwa, Rukayat Tajudin, Sugen Kindness, whoosh, Valentine Mayo, and Yudeze Amara Chuku. You all are amazing, and we love you, and we appreciate everything that you've done. All right, so moving on, I can see somebody has a question.
Lisa.
Hi, Elizabeth. What question do you have, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is Fauzi. I just
Right.
wanted to
I can hear you, but where I am is noisy, so I want to type, please.
all right.
All right, Fauzi, do go ahead. Elizabeth, you can type your question.
I wanted to add that, yes, we spotlighted the women that you mentioned, but there were some other women who also led the study groups, but haven't sent in their articles. So if you're one of those women and you're on this call, we love you still. Thank you for all the help that you put into this. And if you still want to be spotlighted, I mean, you deserve it. So yes, reach out to me. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Fauzi. All right, Elizabeth, I'll be looking forward to your question. So we are in the final stretch. Who is ready? And what we are going to be doing is we're going to be creating a DP. It's called like a personalized DP, where it will announce to the world that you are officially a graduate of the I4G Women in Design class of 2022. So I'm going to be sending a link now. Send. Everyone go ahead, click on that link. And what you do is you put in your image in that little circle box, and then put in your name and download and share, as simple as that. And this is the message that you share with it when you're sharing on socials. Don't forget to tag us, tag your friends, tag the panelists today, and talk about your experience as well. So who is ready? Who has shared theirs? Let's see. Not so fast. All right. So I guess that's majorly it. Elizabeth, I've still not seen your question. I think you can, feel free to send your question on the Telegram group. And just like Blessing said earlier, we appreciate you. We really love you for completing your course. We look forward to the successes that you're going to be
Hi.
achieving in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, some comment quickly notes this. And yeah, oh boy. All right, so I can see a couple of hands up. Elizabeth Tosin, what questions do you have? Or Elizabeth, I can see, go ahead and type your question or send it to the Telegram
Okay,
group.
hello, guys. The thing is, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, the thing is, I was given a scholarship to study what is it called, software engineering, front end and back end. The thing is, I'm kind of worried that if I should give it to given the time that was given to me, if I should be committed to it, and I kind of stop practicing on my design, as in the other course that I learned, will it affect it? As in, will it
All right,
affect
so
it or kind of, I don't even know.
yeah, Elizabeth, I think I can.
Like I've been kind of worried if I should, if I didn't practice it.
Elizabeth, I got your question. Kindly help me out. Yes, thank you. So I think it's important for you to make a decision on what the next steps would be for you. Do you want to do design or do you want to do software development? And also feel free to send a message to any one of the admins.
Yeah, you can go ahead with your suggestion.
All right, Elizabeth, I was saying that thank you for the question. And it's important that you make a decision on what exactly you want to do. Do you want to do design or do you want to do software development? And I also
Please, can you come again? What did you say?
Oh boy. So Elizabeth,
please,
I
can you
think
come again? Please, can you come again? Can you hear you?
Yeah. Elizabeth, I think you should send a message to any of the admins later on and we can have a one-on-one conversation to help you make a decision. Okay. All right. So once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for completing your course. Make sure to fill in the survey in the email that was sent to you. Make sure to also fill in your alumni form so you join the alumni. So one thing about the alumni is the I4G alumni community is where you get access to job opportunities, you get access to, curated resources and activities. You get access to, companies and HRs looking to place talent. So it's important that once you finish graduating, you join the alumni. And also share your designs, all the advice and amazing stuff that the panelists have shared today. Make sure to implement them. Don't forget them. It's going to be a really beautiful journey ahead for you. And we've had, a lot of success stories ever since we started the 1000 Women in Design program since last year. So yeah, we can't wait to add your own story as well. And also, yeah, okay, so we have a couple more announcements. Yeah, so I've shared the link for you to create your DP and post on social media. And I think for that, we have Blessing is going to be buying 5 of Victor Fatomi's book, the new book that he
Hello, I'm back.
Okay. So yeah, let me see. All right, so Blessing is going to be buying 5 of Victor Fatomi's book, the book that he mentioned earlier when he was talking, and she's going to be sharing for 5 women in the community. So I'm going to be adding that. Those 5 women will be picked from those that share their CV and announcements of graduation. Anyways, we're going to be announcing that you're graduating as well today. And we really love you. We appreciate you. And Good luck on your journey ahead. We are here for you every single step of the way, ever since you started your course, down to finishing your course, down to you joining the alumni, down to you getting a job. Yes. All right, and that's it for us today. Thank you to the panelists. Thank you, Bolanle. Thank you, Itinolua. Thank you, Bolatito. Thank you, Victor. You can share anywhere. Share on Instagram, share on Twitter, share on LinkedIn. Tag us and we'll see it. And I guess that's all for today. Have a lovely and amazing day, everyone. And don't forget to tell somebody that you just graduated. You don't know who might be interested in seeing your portfolio and who might be interested in hiring you. And don't forget to also share that you got a job or you got an internship position or any success story that, you know, would help us as well. We love you and kisses. Bye. Happy graduation, everyone.